This is Mina verbena. Its Latin name is Verbena lilacina de Mina. It is a specific cultivar, the Mina cultivar of a native verbena plant from Cedros Island in Baja California, still considered a California native because that's part of the California floristic province. It's one of my very favorite California native perennial plants, and you can see part of the reason why. It is covered in these beautiful purple flowers from spring all the way until sometime in early summer quite often. You might also, depending on your situation, get a little bit of a fall rebloom once the weather starts to cool off at the end of the warm season. And this is one of the very favorite nectar plants for adult butterflies. So it brings so many butterflies into the garden. I've had these in the tiny little 1-gallon pots, not even in the ground yet in the garden. The butterflies are already coming through to check it out. In addition to that, it's just a lovely flexible plant that grows really fast. So as a perennial plant, this thing is not going to be around in the garden for like a full decade in most situations. Might live for 5 years or so, occasionally more, occasionally less. I have one in my front yard right now that is over 5 years old, still going really strong, but it grows in and establishes really quickly in a garden. So if you are investing in long-term structure in your garden, some of those plants don't start growing incredibly fast right away. This is one that's going to fill some space and bring in the butterflies and pollinators right away. You have many options in terms of how you'll site and how you'll water Mina verbena in your garden. It takes everything from full blasting sun to significant partial shade. So definitely works as a dappled shade understory plant. I have one that looks incredibly good, pretty close to the north side of my house, so it stays in shadow for a decent amount of the year, but full blasting sun in the summer. And it's pretty flexible on watering as well. Easily, once it's established, we'll be happy with that deep soak every 3 to 4 weeks that in general in our area, most California native gardens will thrive on. However, if it's in full sun, it will go pretty dormant looking in a lot of situations in the summer, meaning it'll just look sort of dried out and not at its peak. Don't worry about it if everything else seems like it's doing well. That's just it going through its natural dormant cycle like it would do in its home situation. However, if you want to keep it a little bit lusher, either being in some part shade will do that, or you can increase the watering frequency to about every 2 weeks or so. I've even grown this grouped with fruit trees where it gets water once a week throughout the warm season. It doesn't need that much water, but it is one of the California natives that's water tolerant. And so you can use it as a transition plant with other water-wise plantings or even fruit tree type plantings that are going to get water up to once a week. So very flexible on how you're going to grow it. Easy to find a place for it anywhere. One note is that often you might see it listed as a plant that stays as small as 2 feet sometimes. Oftentimes you'll see 3 to 4 feet. In inland Southern California, our experience is more that plants that are doing well will be 4 feet minimum, maybe even 5 feet, a little bit larger over time. So give it a little bit of extra space and you'll really be rewarded by allowing it to grow until its full, beautiful look. And we can see right over here, a butterfly is coming to visit as we speak. For more information about this plant, including care and maintenance, as well as information about many of our other favorite plants for Southern California gardens, be sure to check out our Waterwise Garden Planner website.